The first 2 years I lost 100 pounds.
Sure about that. What? Like, you want a picture of me? Like,
Yeah. Graham, can you come do a backflip?
Cardio's making you fat. That's what we're going to talk about today.
You're listening to the Northstar Podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 82 of the Northstar Podcast. Today, we are going to start by unveiling a painting, Ashley B painting. So we have not even seen this yet. So this is our first reaction to it. We also have the podcast episode as well, but we thought we'd do like a little like fun unveiling first. So we're going to start with that, and then we'll get right into the podcast after that. Ekam, do you want to do the honors?
First of all, huge shout to Ashley. I am very excited to open this and have this onto our walls.
Okay, so they're back here. Oh, that's sweet. That's so cool.
That is actually awesome. Holy.
That's so cool.
Wow, guys. Huge shout to Ashley. There's also something on the back. She wrote a message. Okay, let's flip this.
Jeremy and Ekam, thank you for trusting me with this piece. I'm so honored that it will be hanging up in your beautiful new studio. Thank you so much, Ash.
Big shout out to Ashley. Guys, if you haven't seen her episode, she was on early on the podcast with you, right?
Yeah. We did an episode with her, so
wow.
Go check out her.
Look at Jeremy's face right here.
Yeah.
And here, the mug shots.
Yeah, this one too. Sounds cool.
Wow.
Like with the...
That is actually beautiful.
So Instagram would be Ashley B Painting. So at Ashley B Painting. So yeah.
Wow, this is beautiful. And Ashley, you killed it.
Yeah, this is sweet. This is
so cool. Awesome. This is literally
cool.
what we were missing.
How this was like.
It's actually like, well, yeah, let's get it back here.
Yeah, we'll put it up and then we'll start the episode. So everyone, you just saw the unveil of the painting right here. We already got it all put up. We were just talking off air. It kind of reminds us of like Suicide Squad kind of vibe.
Movie, yeah.
Yeah, the movie. So it was really cool, like really well done. We're really happy with it because we weren't 100% sure what we were really looking for to add like a piece to obviously make it like well known that it's obviously the Northstar Podcast. So I think at the end of the day, it's just going to be something that it's going to make the space more unique to what it is. And we're really happy with it. Like, you know, I'm really grateful for it too. So.
Yeah, to see it come to fruition. Yeah, a little side tangent. I think it's really important to trust people, man. I find like, I always go, whenever I go to get my haircut at the barbershop, I'm like, hey man, you're the artist, do your thing. And the same thing, we let Ashley do her thing and she cooked on it. As you can see, like, I mean, originally I thought we were just gonna have a logo, right? And like having this, like we got her face, she painted her faces, she got all the details on Jeremy's beard. It's awesome. So yeah, she killed it. And yeah, guys, go definitely support her out. Awesome work, and I know like she loves what she does, and that's why you can see that this was made with love. So big shout
passion,
to Ash.
Yeah, thanks Ash, appreciate it.
Anyways, want to get started? Talk about some GLP-1s.
GLP-1s, yeah. So what we're going to talk about today, as most of you've probably heard, are GLP-1s, peptides, kind of in that classification. There's different
disclaimer.
Yeah, we're not medical doctors. Just. We're not giving medical advice. It's only for education, coaching, perspectives, and GLPs are prescription medications that are required from a doctor. We do have to say that. We are just giving information out because it is a popular subject right now in the space, and people have questions. But at the end of the day, we are not your provider. We are not the ones that do this for you. You do have to go talk to your doctor. But at the end of the day, the big thing, GLP-1 are receptor agonists in plain language. They mimic a gut hormone that helps people feel full. It slows down stomach emptying, and it also improves your blood sugar levels, controls it, helps it keep it lower. So biggest thing here when we're looking at the different types, most people have probably heard of Ozempic. The pharmaceutical name would be semaglutide.
Yes.
I always think of like
tirzepatide too. That's another version.
Yeah, tirzepatide would be another form. Mounjaro would be tirzepatide, and currently right now, from what I remember, and probably by this time that this gets posted, might be a little bit more research, but we're looking at also to phase 3 in FDA approval for retatrutide. I do not know what they're going to call it. I don't know if they have a name for it quite yet, like their brand name. I always look at like GLPs or like these medications, like, you know, you've heard Ozempic or Wegovy or whatever. Yeah. They're like Nike and like Adidas.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like they're like the brand name, but they also sell shoes.
Yeah, it's like
right?
the product is the shoes, but it's just a brand name?
Yeah, it's just the brand name. So like when you're looking at semaglutide, Ozempic,
it's trippy because the thing is everyone has opinions on it, but like you tell someone, hey, Ozempic versus, hey, you tell them something like the actual name of a semaglutide, they're like, oh, that sounds really interesting. Is that like a supplement? Like it's, there's definitely like a knowledge gap, right? That there's not really a bridge built into it, especially with like general population. And yeah, that's why we're really talking about this stuff in the first place.
Yeah, there's different forms. Usually a pen version is very popular.
You'll see with diabetics, people with diabetes, they'll have that as well. Usually the pen version that they'll get prescribed.
Yeah, pen is, I've seen oral as well. If somebody's not comfortable with needles. I don't know too much.
Drop? Like a tincture drop oral, or is it like...
No, like a capsule or a pill.
Yeah, for GLP-1s?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Usually there's some forms of oral. Yeah. I think it's for more individuals that...
have troubles with like needles.
Yeah, needles, right? There's alternatives. I don't know much about oral. I know it's not as common. So I don't know too much about it. I know...
the pathways have to be probably different of how your body actually absorbs it. Kind of like I'm thinking like... when you have like a BPC oral versus like injectable, it's probably going to be a different like, I guess, amount that you have to take or something to actually absorb it, I'm guessing, because it goes through the stomach or...
The thing, well, if we're looking at BPC now, and oral is going to be more for gut lining, healing the gut, where injectable is going to be for more like injury, muscle recovery. Tendon. Yeah. So it's a little bit different where, for example, with a injectable GLP, it's usually only taken once a week. Yep. Where oral, from my understanding, has to be taken every day. So it's just like a if you were taking a medication, right? Yeah. So that's from my understanding. I might be wrong, but that's from what I've read. Yep. I also know some cases with the injectables, there'll be 2 doses in a week, just to offset the negative side effects. So for example, like instead of doing, like so example,
you like get nauseous by taking 2.
Yeah, so if you take too much at once, so a lot of people will report, if they take, let's say 1 milligram of something, instead of doing 1 milligram, they'll split it like 0.5 and 0.5, maybe like a Monday, Thursday. So you don't get such a big drop and you don't get such a big peak.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so it's just to offset some of the side effects that sometimes come with these medications.
Microdosing is another version of that where you could probably even divide up a further bit. If you're to microdose? Or with microdose, usually you would see like 2 times.
Well, there's so many different like forms and ways of doing it, and everyone has a different per se goal, and everyone has a different outlook and different sensitivity to it too, right? Genetically, like there might be someone who's not as sensitive to a higher dose versus someone else. So at the end of the day, it's really important to know what you're taking. And also, again, I think it's very important for people to do their own research as well. Yeah. And when I say do your own research, I don't mean go on TikTok.
Yeah, because that's what you see the high schoolers doing. Kids now, man. Like, kids will, like, I'll see, like, guys who are freshly 18 years old, they'll go on TikTok, and then they'll just, next thing you know, be, like, doing their, like, brands. They're, like, trying to sell it then, too, and they're trying to, like, make a buck, and then they don't do their research, and then they're typically the people who get the side effects, right? I find the biggest thing with anything is, literally like build a basic foundation of knowledge, right? In this case, build your basic foundation of knowledge, and then also the other stuff, which we're going to get into, like what is your other foundation to actually reap the benefits, so you're not relying on it. That's another thing too. You want to talk about the benefits?
Yeah, so I think a big thing going off of the benefits for the GLP-1s are helps with food noise. So the term food noise, if people don't know what that means, just there's some people that, and somebody might be listening now and understands where you're constantly thinking about food, and food is always on your mind. And it's funny, I had a conversation with someone the other day, and we were talking, and they're saying, you know, like, I never think of food. Like, I have to, like, almost remind myself to eat. And that's what basically these medications can do. So a lot of times people, I always look at it as like and I've given this analogy before, but you have a volume dial, right? Everyone has either a lower volume dial or a higher volume dial. A lot of people deal with food noise at a higher volume dial. So they're constantly thinking about food, all these things. You take this medication and it almost turns down that volume for someone. And it's crazy to think that when people get their volume turned down, they're like, oh wow, that's how everyone, or that's how those people feel. Like I have never felt what that person has felt. Because if you're someone who's always been constantly thinking about food, or have dealt with eating disorders, or have dealt with, you know, different forms of using food, either emotionally or with coping, by doing this, it almost like does the reverse. And it almost starts to help you build a better relationship with food again, because it also helps control portion sizes. It helps control, you know, when you're actually full, what's a craving, what's not a craving. So there's so many different benefits that I think that people don't always understand. And yes, obviously one of the biggest benefits and why this medication is so popular, because you do lose weight.
Yeah, and that's
right?
typically because of appetite suppression and basically, like what you mentioned, the food noise.
Yeah.
Being able to, like, I would say, like, if you really use it strategically, is that you can kind of build a better attitude towards food as well, right? You get, like you said, a better understanding of how you deal with food. And yeah, but it's also really dependent, right? Person to person. So that's another huge thing as well.
Yeah, everyone has a different genetic profile.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is actually based off of family history, so how you grew up, how you saw food, how you were taught about food. Obviously, some things can cause from traumatic events.
Like emotional, psychological wise.
And yeah, sometimes it's just, you know, that's your genetics. Like, that's just what the cards you've been given.
Yep. Environment plays a huge role too.
Yeah, so there's a ton of different reasons why. But I think at the end of the day, the one thing that I've seen with a lot of people and that has made a big difference is just understanding those differences between actually being able to go about life and not constantly be thinking about food is a big weight off people's shoulders. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, because people struggle with that. Like, they can literally struggle your whole life with that one thing, and then they can help literally pull that switch, right? To the switch. And then, yeah, there's still being a lot more further research done on this stuff, but like stuff they're saying like benefits when it comes to your heart and kidney health. They're mentioning that as well, how they're showing like some sort of modest reductions and your risk of heart attacks. I mean, if you take it, and usually if you're taking it, people, if they're willing to start, they're also willing to make some other change, I find, is like, okay, they take it, they maybe start working out too, or they just start eating better as well. And that usually adds a better impact, sleeping better too.
I think just losing body fat is making them have those.
Yeah.
Like you see, well, you think of it like if you lose 30 pounds of body fat off your body and you have 30 pounds of body fat to lose, you're more than likely going to be a healthier individual, right? Yeah. You're going to have better insulin resistance. You might have more muscle mass. You also will have less weight that you're holding around, of course. But they even say like a lot of times when people lose weight or lose body fat, they can start coming off medications because now it's kind of not per se reversing everything, but it's getting to a point you're just becoming healthier. So you're putting
less stress on the body, less workload on the body too. So
I don't know so much about information per se about the medication itself that is doing those things. Like you had mentioned,
the
kidneys, heart. I think it's, from my understanding, if I'm looking at it like a logical sense, I feel like those things are happening because the people are losing the body fat and they are getting healthier in that aspect. And they're probably also changing certain habits and things like that as well. So.
Yeah, for all the nerds, basically, just saying that's like the main cause. The other stuff's covariates. Yeah, that just reminds me of my classes the other day. But yeah, do you want to go into like side effects?
Yeah,
things you might have seen, whether that's from research or if you know anyone that does it.
Yeah, so I think side effects, obviously, of course, is nausea. Yeah, that's pretty common. Constipation.
Nauseous. Is that typically like, let's say you're doing an injectable, that's like usually like you're getting that first day, the second day, how long do you typically
would say? Most people, I would say probably 2-3 days.
Into it?
Yeah, like it depends again what your dose is, right? Yeah. Like I've heard people like vomiting as well. Because you have to look at it as like if you take the medication but you eat the same diet you did before, your body's not going to be able to handle that.
Yeah, it doesn't want that much food because of appetite suppression.
Well, and it's slowing everything down, right? Yeah. Slowing down gastric emptying, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're, for example, you eat a 1,000-calorie meal without taking the medication, then you eat 1,000 calories with the medication, your body's going to be like, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm so used to having 1,000 calories and not have this same like slowing down pathway. So as soon as you give your body a higher amount of calories or that same range of calories with the medication, the body isn't used to being able to process it at that rate. Yeah. So it's a lot at once. So you got to be very careful too when you're looking at your diet and you're looking at changing your habits, that it's creating sustainability, but also understanding that you might not be able, and well, you not might, but you are not going to be eating the same as you did before.
What would you say if when it comes to, let's say someone's trying to hit their protein goal, but they're not feeling hungry? What are like some tips that you would say for someone to like, I guess, mitigate that? Because obviously you don't want your body to fight back against you, and you want to get the max benefit of taking the peptide.
Yeah, I think like for the first like 2 to 4 weeks, I think it really takes an adjustment period for a lot of people. Like from what I've seen and talked to people, I've talked to a lot of people that have taken them, and I start to kind of piece things together and see like very common trends.
Okay.
And I think for like the first 2 to 4 weeks, you just kind of have to let your body adjust to what the medication is doing.
Yep.
And I would say when it comes down to like getting enough protein, I think for the first 2 to 4 weeks, like just trying to do as best as you can. You know, like if you don't eat enough protein for like 2 weeks, you're not going to like lose all your muscle, right?
Or like aim for the lower end, like, you know, they say get 1 gram of body fat or 1 gram per pound, like going for the lower end, like half of that.
Or trying to reverse like how much physical chewing of protein. So I think if you're
drinkable,
like maybe switching up to more drinkable protein options. It's just gonna be easier on the stomach. It's not gonna take as long to digest, because that's gonna be the big thing is like, you know, if you're used to eating a ton of chicken and then now you try to eat that same amount of chicken, you know,
more fight back for your body, basically.
Yeah. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, the big thing is just being able to also, you know, understand it and look at what's going to be the things that are going to work for me and vice versa. So, but yeah, I would say at the end of the day, knowing that going into it and going through it slowly and not just expecting it to change everything at once will really help you understand that, you know, you got to work slowly at it. It's not something that you should rush.
I think we should end it off at that. That's a good note. That's not a quick fix, but I think, yeah, like you mentioned, it takes like your body to like also metabolism to like also to adapt to it as well. And you made a video about this, I think literally today, like talking about like, and I always tell clients this too, is like, if you have this goal, give yourself some grace and give yourself a little bit more time on that period. I find like when you're fully rushing this stuff, it's when it becomes miserable to you and not as sustainable. So the biggest thing is, if you are taking some sort of GLP-1, is trying to kind of go through the trends yourself, figure out what works for you, and then slowly build onto that, and then build your foundation around that, which we've done videos on plenty of times in our peptide series as well, which you did before.
And just my last note that I want to say is, because this is a question I get a lot of times, is how to mitigate not losing as much muscle when taking a GLP, because that happens a lot too, where some of your weight that you lose, let's say you lose 50 pounds, but you lose 20 pounds of muscle and 30 pounds of fat, well, that's not a good ratio.
Yeah.
That's actually a horrible ratio.
That's a terrible ratio.
That's a terrible
really
ratio.
Yeah.
It's understandable to lose some muscle, don't get me wrong. Like, you might lose like maybe 1 to 5 pounds of muscle, like if you're doing it properly. But at the end of the day, making sure obviously adequate protein, strength train, and that you're not eating too low calories.
Yeah, if you're slashing your calories way too low, you're going to end up losing muscle.
Yeah, so, I think that's where it comes dosage, right? Yep. So if somebody's taking a higher dose, they might have to back down, right? So it's always best to start slow and make your way up rather than start high and then have to work your way down.
Yeah.
So those are just my tips for not losing muscle while taking a GLP. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That was episode 82 of the Northstar Podcast.
Yeah, thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you in 83. And shout out to Ash. Thanks, Ash, for the painting. Appreciate it.